Welcome to FMH Insurecast, a podcast created by Farmers Mutual Hail designed to deliver expertise and insights from trusted FMH team members and industry experts. Each new episode will dive into new products, industry updates, and innovative solutions. Let's get to today's topic.
Hi everyone, I'm Addison, and we have a special edition of FMH Insurecast from the field. We are at Frank Pumpkin Farm, and I have a special guest with me. But for now, I'm Addison Hopkins, the Northern Illinois District Sales Manager. And I'm from Oregon, Illinois. And we are in Illinois, who is the #1 pumpkin growing state. With me, Heidi, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Heidi Frank. I am an insurance agent for Hanford Insurance and co-owner of Frank Pumpkin Farm.
So Heidi, we are sitting by all these pumpkins, these flowers. Tell us how you got into growing pumpkins and how you expanded into the flowers, ornamental kale.
Yeah, so this is our 19th year growing pumpkins. We grow over 130 different varieties. It started out as a hobby, just as a way to make people happy. We raised maybe 15 different varieties. We had an honor system at the end of the road with a hay rack. We did that for several years, and we just had a lot of fun with it, and it just kept growing and growing. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I always enjoy coming out here and seeing everything that you grew. You grow a lot of different varieties, and what is your favorite variety? And I know you have a lot of different specialties that you grow. You are a bit different than a lot of pumpkin growers. Let's dive into that a little bit.
So my favorite pumpkins are obviously like the colored pumpkins. The green bumpy one is probably my favorite variety. It's called Marina de Chioga. Anything really other than the traditional orange, I feel like that's all you see in the grocery stores, and that's what most of the pumpkin farms raise. But we like to set ourselves apart by growing so many different unique varieties, like warty, bumpy, striped, gourd, stuff like that. Stuff that you can't find everywhere else.
I know last year I bought some of those stacks and put them around my staircases in the house. What's it like to grow those, and do you plan for that?
We do. So we plant new seed every year. That's probably one of our most asked questions is, do you save your seed every year? We do plant new seed every year. We want to make sure the varieties that we're planting are going to come up as expected. And we plant all of our stacking pumpkins together. So when we head out to the field, we can easily get a load of the flat whites or the flat reds, which are the Cinderellas. Everybody's heard of Cinderella pumpkins. So that's probably our best-selling flat pumpkin.
Awesome. So we just talked a little bit about seed and planting. Tell us what it takes to grow pumpkins from the very beginning to the very end.
So the most challenging part is probably the insects and the disease with the pumpkin. So we plant around the 1st of June, and we're just continually monitoring the crop. When it's time to start spraying, we spray copper to prevent disease, and that's pretty effective for us. But the squash bugs and powdery mildew are probably our two biggest challenges in the pumpkins. But we do try to prevent that as well as we can, and they do like it dry too. So if we have a really wet year, they don't like wet feet. So that's usually not a good crop year.
Oh no. Well, good thing we are in insurance. So hopefully you are protected from a wet year and insects.
Yes. Most of the crop insurance around pumpkins are geared toward the canneries and basically the tons hauled off. We're a little bit unique. We don't want to have to deal with the state certified scale and all that stuff, so we sell our pumpkins by the each. So it's kind of hard for us to get crop insurance on the pumpkins, but it is something that we continually watch to see how the programs change and see if it's something that maybe we can find a program that might be right for us.
Well, hopefully FMH can help you out when time comes. Let's move on. So I know when I was here, your sister was helping, your kids come home. I know this year is probably looking a little different for you since you have 2 girls off to college now.
Yeah.
But what's the family involvement in?
So I've got one daughter in Nebraska and one in Oklahoma. My daughter from Nebraska's come home twice. On the weekends are ready to help. So that's really nice. But I have a twin sister, Hope, and she's here every weekend, helping us get ready, helping us sell. And I have a sister, Brenda, that's here every weekend that helps us, and my brother-in-law. My son is the crew leader of the pickers. He's 14. We have a group of high school kids that come and help us. We've gotten to the level where we've had to hire on some help. So, but I mean, we couldn't get it done without our family for sure. So they're a huge asset.
Heidi, you told me you grew over 130 different variety of pumpkins. We have a lot of varieties behind us. Could you tell me more about them, because I have not seen one with all of these wart types or
Yeah.
striped one that's behind you.
Yeah. So this is another one of my favorites. This is called One Too Many, and it's like a red and white striped pumpkin. A lot of people ask us like if we how we got the pumpkin to grow that way. It's just the variety. It's one of our very best sellers. It's pretty fun and different, very unusual. Another one by you, Addison, is this peanut pumpkin. Um, they're supposed to look like peanut shells. Again, very different variety, unique. Um, I've actually had a kind of a scary incident with a little child who was allergic to peanuts, and he thought they were real peanuts, and he started like freaking out because he touched the pumpkin and he thought he was gonna have like an allergic reaction. But it was sad. But I mean, they do look like peanut shells.
They do.
So,
This is an insane looking pumpkin. It has a little pink, reddish, orangish tint to it.
Yeah.
But also has that little shell to it. So
yeah,
this is really cool pumpkin.
Yeah, this is called Silver Edge. This is another one of my favorite varieties. The seed on these are really big, like probably a couple inches for sure each seed, and they have a silver edge along the seed. So it's really fun. It was kind of a challenge to plant this the first year we started, because we dropped one seed at a time in a funnel on the planter when we're planting, and it actually clogged our funnel. So we didn't catch that right away. So then we had a buildup of seed, and it was kind of unfortunate. But we were careful to change our planting design after this variety came to the farm. Here's another example of one of our stacking pumpkins that we do. Our farm is really well known for those. Again, a very popular seller. We try to make them in all different sizes. That way, if you don't have a lot of room on your front porch, like this could easily go in your house, on your kitchen table, or your desk at work. So
very cool. I love these, and I think the design is very cool. Do you have like the bestseller pumpkin, or?
Well, I would say probably the stacking pumpkins are our best seller. They're very popular. Like I said, we'll make the minis that are, as big as this, to, the ones that go up to my waist, just depending on what people want with different color combinations. So those are by far the best seller. As for the different gourds and things, these are called lunch ladies. They come in all different shapes and sizes. That's a hard shell gourd. That's a speckled
These are
swan.
pretty cool.
Yeah, those actually dry, and you can do crafts with them in the spring. Those are really popular, especially with the people who have the vision to do a craft and can wait till next spring to do something with them.
I could never wait to do that. I need like that instant gratification that my pumpkin is here and I don't have to craft.
Yep.
But have you ever grown the most perfect pumpkin?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of perfect is. Right. We've grown some really awesome pumpkins, and I guess our goal is just to try to have a variety that everyone finds one that they like. Like these tall, skinny snake gourds, little boys really like those. Like that's their jam. So I'm confident everyone can find the perfect pumpkin out here if they look.
Yes, and I know you differentiate yourself in different ways. Could you expand on what all you do at Frank Pumpkin Farm? And you have lots of varieties, but you do so much more than just growing pumpkins.
We do. We donate a lot to nursing homes and food pantries. We have our local FFA chapters that help wash and pick pumpkins for us to donate. We feel it's very important to give back to the community, and that's something that we're very proud of, that we like to do. This year we started a couple classes that we're going to do. So we're doing next week a succulent pumpkin workshop with succulents that I raised here myself over the summer. And we're going to take all my flowers and put them on a pumpkin. So I'm teaching a class on how to do that, and we're really looking forward to it.
I'm really disappointed I missed out on that sign up.
Yeah.
But I did see the succulent pumpkins on Facebook, and
Yeah.
they sold quickly.
They did. Our class is full. I'm just doing one class, and I limited it because I hadn't tried this before. So I thought I'm going to dip my toes in a little bit slowly on the classes. But we are going to host another class with the dietitian at our local hospital. She's going to come out, and we raise at least a dozen different varieties of edible squash. And she's going to teach people how to cook with them. We have a shop with a kitchen, and people will be able to learn how to cook with them and taste them and try all the different varieties that we have.
Awesome. Do you have any favorite recipes or?
Yes, this is delicata squash. This is probably my favorite variety, and I like to cut these in half and then scoop the seeds out, and then I brown some sausage, an onion, and a little stuffing, and I mix that together with some chopped apple, diced apple, and then I put it back in the squash and bake it in the oven until it's soft. And the skin is edible on these, on the delicata. That's probably my favorite way to eat these. But this is probably our top selling squash, and all of our squash sell really well. There's, like I said, at least 12 different varieties that we grow, and some people come multiple times in the fall just to stock up to get them through the winter. Because if properly stored, squash can last for months.
What is the proper way to store squash?
Well, you don't want to let it freeze, and you don't want it to be too warm. So like if you have a basement where it doesn't freeze, that would be ideal. You just want to make sure they can get airflow. You don't have a whole bunch of them stacked on top of each other. But we've eaten squash in March. So it can last a long time.
Do pumpkins last that long?
Probably not. This would be an edible pumpkin here. This is a Long Island cheese. We've eaten those in December, but I've not really tried much longer. This is the variety that I would recommend for people to make like pies and breads out of. But I don't think they quite have the shelf life that the squash do.
What's your favorite recipe with?
Well, for sure, pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Yes.
Lots of whipped cream.
Yes, everyone always wants the sugar pie pumpkins, and every couple of years I do a side-by-side comparison. I bake Long Island cheese and then a traditional pie pumpkin in the oven, and I take a bite with nothing on them, and every year I'm like, this is far superior to a pie pumpkin. It's creamier and it's sweeter.
Ooh, it sounds delicious. So Heidi, I have a $1 million question we've all been waiting for.
Yes.
Do pumpkin spice lattes have pumpkin in them?
I don't think they do. I think they just have pumpkin syrup.
Well, I sure like them, so I'm going to keep consuming them. But anyways, Heidi, if our listeners wanted to find Frank Pumpkin Farm, how could they do so?
We're on Facebook under Frank Pumpkin Farm. We don't really advertise anywhere else. We don't have a website. We're only open on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 9 till 5, and we'll be open through the end of October if anyone wants to give us a shout out.
Well, pumpkins are surely everyone's fall favorite, and to come out and to look at them, pick them, do all the things. I know you said you don't allow picking at this farm. And
right, with liability reasons, being an insurance agent, we have limited to just up in the barnyard to try to eliminate trips and falls and just different exposure that way, liability wise. We do have extra endorsements added onto our policy to protect us for the agritourism experience that we're having here. We have a lot of livestock that people can interact with. They are animals 24/7, 365. We don't ship them in for the season and then ship them out. So we have baby pigs, baby bunnies, chickens, cattle, 2 donkeys, which you can see in the background. So we have just a lot of different animals that a lot of people wouldn't be able to interact with in their normal setting.
Heidi, when you don't sell all your pumpkins, what do you do with them?
The livestock love them. We have all the animals on the farm enjoy them. The pigs, the cattle, the goats. We especially love it on the years when we have the pumpkins just north of the pasture then we can just extend the hot wire off. It's funny to watch them eat the different varieties. They are variety specific to what they like best. So they hit the squash types first.
A little sweeter?
I think so. So
man, cows must have a sweet tooth.
They do. There's nothing left after the end of the season. We feed it all to our livestock. My brother-in-law has a large herd of cows. My dad has a bunch of cattle and goats, and we invite local livestock raisers who want some free feed at the end of the season to come and help themselves.
At FMH, we have a division called Ag Brokerage Solutions, where all of these exposures could be covered. And to find out more how to cover those, reach out to Ag Brokerage Solutions and they can help you out.
Thank you, Addison.
Yeah,
it's been great having you at the farm today. I really
No.
appreciate you inviting me to be on your podcast.
I'm so excited that you were able to join us and appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You've been listening to FMH Insurecast. We appreciate you joining us today and would like to hear from you. If you have questions about today's topic or an idea to share for an upcoming podcast, you can contact us at fmhpodcast@fmh.com. Thanks for listening. This podcast is intended for information purposes only. See policy provisions, terms, and conditions for details. Products underwritten by Farmers Mutual Hail Insurance Company of Iowa and its affiliates, West Des Moines, Iowa. Farmers Mutual Hail is an equal opportunity provider.